space. I was away from the human race.
Record X Studios,
baby. Let's go.
in Ventura, California. How are you guys doing?
Amazing.
I'm doing great, man. You know, it's great to finally be with Underground and collaborate and, you know, talk to people about what we're here for.
Yes, absolutely. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves real quick? What is your names? And you guys are the owners of Record X Studios.
Yeah. So I'm Solomon. I've been with this guy. We both started Record X 4 or 5 years ago, and it's been crazy. The journey from where we started to getting here has been just a roller coaster of ups and downs. It started off not just us two, but we've had different people we've worked with, but in the end it just ended up just being us, which is good, you know. But yeah, the people I've come across working with, artists, partners, different business partners, videographers, musicians, it's been awesome to be a part of this community and just to see what the 805 has to offer. So Record X, I'm glad that we're here and we're a part and we're serving the community. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, same here. I pretty much started off with this guy, you know. He's day one, A1 since day one. We've been together. Mm-hmm. Essentially, how the idea came about was we, he's been my friend since middle school, as I was telling you earlier, you know. And as we were growing older, I got really involved in music, and I loved the whole hip-hop scene that was happening in Ventura back in 2010 is when I started kind of getting glimpses of it. I started DJing and stuff.
Okay.
And that's,
DJ.
Yeah. Then I started, when I was DJing, you know, I started getting in connections with different artists, and I was always curious about sound and how, you know, it's all created. And back in the days, I thought it's called producer and whatnot, but it turns out engineers and producer are two different things. So I got all into it. I started putting some equipment together at my house, and he would always come over, and I'd be like, hey, man, check this out. I got this today. Started building all this, and we're like, you know, over time, you know, why don't we serve the community? Why don't we actually go for a location where we can offer the service? Because I was recording out of my bedroom, and my parents were like, what the hell's going on? Turn it down, you know? And me being a music maniac, I constantly tried adding more dBs to it, you know, turn it up, make it louder if I can. And I added big subwoofers and speakers, and it came to a point where I was talking to this guy, and we had some business ideas, and we always wanted to do something. So we're like, you know, let's turn this into an actual thing beyond just my mom's basement, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm down to support you, bro. I've always rocked with you. And, you know, he understood my vision, and I understood, you know, what he was in it for. And we're like, let's put this thing to good use. And we came together and started off Record X. But I started off in Hollywood, right?
The first official studio we opened out in Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Sunset. Was it Sunset? Near Sunset.
Yeah, North Hollywood, Sunset, and
it was a 2-minute walk from Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah.
And
so,
what year was this?
This is in 2017.
2017. Yeah. We had the spot, and we thought we were going places. But honestly, L.A. is a rough place. I mean, it's that hustle grind mentality, you know. That's what we were going out to LA. We go out to LA and take trips just to get inspired and be around people like that. So when we opened up our first studio out there, we were ready to get things going, you know? Yeah. And I was telling you earlier, the first studio, we had every single wall painted a different color. And the turf on the ground, we're trying to make it just a cool vibe.
It was a beach jungle vibe, bro.
Exactly.
You're entering the jungle, bro.
Yeah, we were trying to make it exotic, so when people come in, they're like, oh, damn, I'm ready to freaking make a crazy beat or whatever.
But it ended up not working out, because when people would come in, be like, yo, bro, this is slippery, you know, and this and that. What's going on, man?
Danger hazard.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you're saying it being in LA, right? It's obviously a hub for music, so it's a great spot for a studio. Yeah. But it seems like there's a lot of competition, right?
Tons.
Oh, man.
So is that kind of why you guys ended up getting out of that spot?
Multiple reasons, I would say, right? That's obviously a factor.
Yeah, one of the things is we were actually in college at the time. We just got out of high school. It was for our first year in college, freshman. Yeah. And we wanted to move out to LA. And at the time, I was in debt, a lot of money. So I was like, man, I don't know if we can actually do this move. Because if we move out there...
Because we were thinking about moving out there,
Yeah, if we move out and make this, studio happen out in LA, you know, we're not even gonna have enough money to get things going, because I was already negative, you know.
Yeah, so if you're not following, you know, we have a studio in Hollywood, but we're living in Ventura.
Okay,
exactly.
So you're driving gas money even.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're getting these artists from Ventura out to LA to record, you know, because we're trying to get the ball rolling. People like the work that we were already doing, so they were willing to come out to LA, because, you know, people like LA vibes, Hollywood vibes. Like, people be done from the studio and they want to go to the club and whatnot.
Yeah, but I want to start from the beginning. Dude.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning where you were in your bedroom making music for people.
Oh my God.
Let's start there.
Those were crazy days, man. I'm in my parents' house, right? And obviously I'm Middle Eastern, so my parents are not all about like profanity, all this stuff happening in the house, right? And all these artists are like, you know, fuck this, fuck that, you know?
Yeah.
And every once in a while when the session's over, my mom is like, you know, I love you, but like maybe we should not be cussing.
Rapper.
Yeah,
Really, I heard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, try to tone it down. You know, it's not a big deal, Mom. Let's keep it moving. But eventually, it's like, yo, Saul, bro, this is getting out of hand. You know, I can't keep doing this in the house. It's getting loud. The neighbors are like, this house is gonna lift off. It's got a giant subwoofer in it. You
Exactly.
know?
I think that was one of the initial things that got us thinking, like, maybe we should take this somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because of that. I mean, well, he was doing it on his own, honestly, but because we were good friends, we're always talking back and forth, just bouncing ideas off each other. And he's like, dude, like, I need a space to work, you know, because of his mom and stuff and parents. So that's when we started like going out to LA and thinking of like what can we do to get this going. And the name Record X Studios wasn't even a thing. We were we had the vision and we were trying to make it happen, you know. So that's where we're starting right there.
And I personally still think, like, in terms of where we are, I wouldn't say our mission is anywhere even close, halfway to where we want to be. You know, we want this thing to be bigger and be more community based. And, you know, a lot of people talk about building a brand that's known, right? But our personal focus has always been being local, being connected with people, and being community based more than being you know how you were asking me earlier, like, you know, are you planning on opening more locations or franchising? Or, I mean, it's always an option, like, as I mentioned, and, you know, we know that TO movement is happening and we would consider it, but I'm more like a relationship-based person. You know, any of the artists that we work with here, it's solely for the purpose of knowing who they are and where they started. A lot of people recorded their very first song or ever even touched the microphone at Record X. So my goal is to stay there, you know, their studio, and, you know, our engineer be their engineer.
How did the name Record X come about? Like, who thought of that name?
So at the time, I think we were bouncing back. We went to the second studio. We moved our studio to Oxnard. That was doing pretty good. We still didn't have a name then. I think when we were transitioning from Oxnard to Camarillo, in our third location, that's when we kind of came up with the idea.
We used to call this whole music thing Audio Boomers.
Yes.
Audio Boomers.
That was
like
the
the
first
original
name.
Yeah, bro. We had a website. We had this tag. I swear, I'm pretty sure we had a tag of a girl saying audioboomers.com. Like, and it was like this beat scene. It sounds decent for something online.
It's kind of cool.
An actual location called Audio Boomers sounds funky. You know?
I feel you.
Yeah, but then we one of our older partners, when there was three of us, we all were just like sitting down one day and we're just like trying to think music related stuff, and we're like, record, something to do with a record. X Studios, and we were just like putting words together and we're like Record X Studios.
Yeah, and we were also like trying to focus more logo based, so we were designing different logos and trying to see what would look right before we would come up with a name. I don't know if that's how people do it, but that's how we did it. We wanted to see how it would look on a logo. If it didn't look right on a logo, then we were not going to call it that.
Yeah, like an X word.
Yes, the X had to be there,
bro. Exactly.
So, like, something that I hear a lot about Record X is from the artists that are in underground or even artists not in underground. They just love the vibe of this place. Like, it's casual. It feels like, it kind of feels like a home, like a really professional home studio. What was the vibe, the aesthetic that you guys were going for when you designed this location?
Well, here's the thing. We have to go back a little bit to the other studios.
Trial and error.
It took us 4 tries to get it right. This is our 4th.
And I don't even know if it's right?
True. Yeah. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think we've got to a place where we're okay with right now. But, like I said, the first studio, we went for an exotic vibe. Second studio, it was more lighting, where we wanted to just make it like
And space. Remember how big the Oxnard studio was?
Exactly. We wanted room for artists to move around, and we wanted the lights when people come in, they're just dazzling.
Yeah, we had like a whole playroom, bro. We had like Xbox set up, and like there's the engineer working in the front, but then there's like gaming happening in the back. And I want to give a shout out to Swenko. You know, he's one of the first people that actually fucked with Record X on a level where he came to the Oxnard studio, and he used to bring his boys, and they would be getting it in the back, you know, gaming and crap.
Yeah.
While I'm out here, like, you know, engineering and whatnot.
So for like a local artist that a lot of people, a lot of artists, like how you started out just doing stuff at your house, like a lot of artists want to make that jump to actually start going to a studio. What would you guys say to encourage somebody in the area to come and record here?
Well, I think like the biggest thing I noticed is like when you know, you don't want to, I guess you can go off with that saying, and not in a negative way. You can't be a jack of all trades and master of none, right? If you're trying to be an artist, you know, you should focus specifically on your craft. You know, when it comes down to marketing, you can pay other people to market for you. When it comes down to production quality, mixing and mastering, you know, engineering. I think if you go out to an actual professional space, you're eliminating that factor of stressing yourself out and taking your artist creativity away from yourself by trying to do it all on your own. So if you come out to Record X, you know, we try to provide the best service possible. We offer recording, mixing, mastering. You know, our in-house engineer is actually capable of producing. Alec, shout out to Alec. So that's a big plus for us. You know, if people don't have music behind their content that they're trying to create, he can produce. So I mean, these are a lot of essentially the services Record X offers, and I think if you come to Record X, you're eliminating that factor of having to do all these things by yourself, right? You're all you have to do is creatively think of lyrics and a sound, a melody, and bring it to Record X, and you know we would
exactly. Yeah, if there's one thing I'd recommend for people is like really focus on like one thing. One thing that I've always like had to struggle with like growing up is just always putting my nose in different types of things, you know, like I did videography, I did beat making, and then I was looking in like doing engineering with him and stuff. And so like if an artist wants to start making music, I'd say focus on, you know, what genre you want to be in, what type of music you like listening to, what your voice sounds like behind the mic. And once you get comfortable and get an idea of like where you want to go with that, focus on yourself, focus on your branding, and then, you know, come into Record X, start making music.
I definitely agree with that. Like a lot of artists try to do everything, production, engineering, and I feel like when they finally just decide to come to a studio and they can just be an artist and do their thing, it works out better. They have better quality of stuff because they're not a professional engineer. Their music is just better because they're focusing on just writing and rapping.
I mean, I think it's good. It's good if someone wants to, you know, be a producer and an artist and makes their own music and stuff. I mean, like, understanding how that stuff works is important because if you want your sound to be a certain way, you can, you know, talk to like our engineer or something to make your song sound a certain way.
Have a sense of that language.
Exactly. It's almost like a language that you have to speak. So it's good to be exposed to those things. But when it comes to if you want to be an artist and you want to make music, you should really let the videographers do the production and then let the beat makers make
It's funny you bring this up because I had a dude one time tell me, hey, can you make it sound like I'm in a tunnel, you know? And one dude was like, can you make it sound like I'm at a concert live right now? And I mean, a lot of those things are understandable as an engineer, but it's kind of a barrier, right? Essentially what they're asking for is an echo or reverb. But how can I make you sound like you're at a concert? And I could try my best, but it's not going to sound how you're probably like picturing. So I guess some of the having to engineer or produce on your own could help you as an artist, but this is not a biased opinion because we have a studio. This is just coming from doing it for trial and error for 4 studios deep and seeing the growth in artists. I think if you just leave the work beyond artistry on the engineers and producers, you're probably better off having better chances of succeeding. It's about quality, not quantity, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think is something that, you know, most people are not like studio owners, right? Most people, their experience of studios is their customers. What do you think is something that most artists don't really understand that you guys have had to like go through or you guys deal with as actual owners of these places?
Yeah, I mean, we've been through a lot, and if there's one thing I got to say, it's like the business aspect of it, of course. Like, we went to school for business, and I mean, it's not difficult to understand, but there's a lot that goes behind it, like liability and stuff. And like, expenses, doing the accounting for the business. That's something that I've been doing. When it comes down to that, you know, artists will sometimes come through and be like, hey bro, can you cut me, like, you know, cut the price a little bit? And like, we make the price obviously so that it covers for expenses and stuff like that, and extra money and stuff we put into advertising and expanding. And so that's one thing why we want to keep it professional, just so it's like, you know, this is how we set it, and we're doing it for that reason, and the artists just understand, you know, they're like, okay, yeah, for sure, like this, yeah, they know what they're doing. But that's definitely one thing we bumped into a few times, just having to explain that to them.
Like artists not understanding pricing, just things like that, or
Yeah.
they think it's just free to open the spot. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think like it's essentially, not very, you know, the Record X Studio. I think the type of work we're delivering, personally, I feel this way. People could disagree. Is like we are charging below industry average. If you are, you know, touching studios in our area, like I'm not talking Ventura County studios. I'm talking studios specialized in hip hop or trap music. In LA, you know, you can find another spot for $40 an hour, but you're gonna compromise something. You're gonna end up compromising the booth size. You're gonna end up compromising the quality, or you're gonna end up compromising the atmosphere. Something's getting compromised. $40 an hour, you're not getting a space that's this big, which is acoustically treated, you know, built for sound recording, and you're getting, you know, recording, mixing, and mastering within a flat rate. A lot of places also charge based on the service. We're at a full one price package deal here, you know? So I think people have started to understand as they experience the industry and the market, but I think we have a pretty, you know, justified rate in terms of the pricing we charge.
I do too, definitely. Like, I definitely think so. Like I said, I've been to a bunch of studios, especially in LA, and like, this is the best pricing you get. You got Alec in here. It's like,
Exactly.
for real.
He's the guy.
So I've said like a couple times, I think on the Alec documentary, I'm pretty sure I said this in the last magazine too. I always think of like Record X as like a staple, like a point of focus in the 805 underground rap scene. Do you guys consider yourselves like an important piece of the local scene?
I don't know. I mean, I think we are, but like, I don't like to think of it as somebody important, you know. I personally think we probably play a role. I mean, we probably play a role, but a lot of it has to do with, you know, artists' personal success and growth. But yeah, we're definitely there in terms of supporting them in their sound and production aspect. What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, as far as a staple, I mean, I don't want to go as far as to say, you know, we're that studio, but I mean, it would be nice to get there. But I think we came off at a time when music in the 805 started growing, because like I said, when we got out of high school, I mean, the music scene in high school, all the music coming out, you know, from all these different like big artists, really created the vibe for people to want to create music, and we hopped on that wave.
Those were the days,
at the
dude.
time. Yeah. That was
when Young Thug was putting out music, right? Before we go prior to that, we had Chief Keef starting off, breaking through as the drill music scene, right? We had we were talking about it the other day. You know, we had Chief Keef, we had Migos dropping projects, we had all these artists dropping projects. So it's like, wow, this is the time to be in the music industry.
Yeah. So that wave of like artists being like people I know in high school, like I didn't think that they'd ever be artists, and now I see them on Instagram and they're, you know, making music and stuff. So like I think we definitely were a part of that community of people growing, but I don't want to go as far to say it's like we're the ones who created it, because it was the artists, the people that were creating the music that really made this scene pop out here.
Yeah.
So.
And so you guys when did you graduate Buena?
2015.
Yeah.
Okay, 2015. Same as me, actually. So
Yeah,
Really?
so nice.
You went to Buena?
I went to Newberry.
Oh,
Newberry
okay.
Park,
Okay.
but 2015 also.
That's
Same
sick.
time. So what is like the next year, the next 2 years looking like for you guys? Do you hope to just stay here and make this place just even more popping? Do you hope to open up another location? What's next for Record X?
Well, definitely we want to keep our eye out, because our main goal at Record X is to provide that service for the community, the music community, and we've been doing that so far. As far as expanding to maybe doing something else, not sure at that point what we're gonna do. Like for instance, you guys are doing a lot, getting involved, which is great, and so I think us sticking to our lane recording sound and stuff like that. That's where we're thinking of staying. But depending on how big the scene gets out here, and you know, the different artists that are making music, whatever happens, you know, we'll be a part of it. Maybe sponsor some events or something.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much our vision. It was definitely here to stay.
Yeah.
Just want to make that clear. You know, next 2 years and onward, the plan is to grow and just build with the community. And like I mentioned to you earlier, you know, if we feel like the need is there and the demand's there, then we could possibly expand in the near future or, you know, further down the line. But for now, I think we are doing pretty decent. I mean, the pandemic came around and all this crazy stuff happened, but you know, we're here and we're doing good.
Yeah.
I really like how, like, in the last couple of months, you guys have like really beefed up the Instagram. In particular, I just like how an artist comes in, you take a photo of them for the story, you tag them and everything.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that? Why did you guys decide to do that?
Alex's idea.
Gotta give it to the man,
Yeah.
Alex. Alex, shout out to you, bro.
Yeah.
If you're watching this.
Alex is this innovative man who's always like,
He is, yeah.
you know, he's on the push and he's like, hey, I got this idea, let's do this, I got this idea. And I love that because he's the one that's actually interacting with people and he understands what, you know, the people want, what is going to be effective. He suggests ideas. Sometimes, you know, we're down. Sometimes we all come together on the table and figure it out.
And that's one thing I do want to say right now is just like, as a business, you know, a lot of people, when you create something, the most important thing I believe is to have a good team around you. Because like with Alec, when we brought him on board, like we were just connected right away, and like we could see that he had that spunk in him, and he's an outgoing guy. You know, he has great ideas, and so surrounding yourself with people that you can connect with and vibe with is like very important for success and long term success.
Shout out to Alec, man.
For real, that's how I found out about Recordex.
That's awesome.
Good
All
guy.
right, well, we have Solomon Sanchez, Shabazz Sadiq.
Yes.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, man, you got it right.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Recordex Studios.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Good,
dope.
man.
Good stuff, bro.
Let's fucking do this. This is for the big guy. All right, going again. 4 1 0 0 7 4100778. Let's see. 4100 fucking 78, man. That's it.
You really got that shit?
Yeah, dude.
Have a good night. Yeah.